If you publish AI content for SEO, you might be wondering whether your content will hit the first page of Google and then just tank within a month, losing its rankings completely, or whether it's going to stay consistent in the SERPs and maintain a high ranking on the first page of Google. Because here's the thing, right? If your rankings drop within a week and your traffic keeps taking a big hit, it doesn't really matter how much content you can produce. You're basically just trying to outrun a treadmill and you're stuck in a hamster wheel. So the question is, does AI rank consistently, not just for a week and then drop? And I'm going to show you two case studies today. The first, exactly what you must not do and why AI content has failed for me in the past, plus how you can avoid the same mistakes. And the second case study shows you how I cracked the code to keep consistent rankings in the SERPs like this, and how you can boost your rankings for AI and SEO. And this is the same AI SEO strategy that's working for me across multiple websites. So you can copy and paste and steal this strategy if you want to. So first of all, let's talk about what you don't do. And this was a big mistake I made last year when we hired a virtual assistant for my website. It was abandoned, didn't really touch it for ages. I was just 100% focused on growing my link building agency. So I left this VA with the Jasper login details and left them to it to get out of the way. He published 15 articles per day for 2 months, right? A lot of content. Now, what was the result? Well, as you can see, the traffic started at 101, ended up at 105, and basically nothing happened. Literally zero. Traffic didn't go up, no new keywords, no more impressions than normal, and basically the rankings didn't improve no matter how much content we created. And I'll show you exactly why in a minute. So let's look through some of the content and see why this happened. And by the way, this isn't his fault, it's totally my responsibility. I should have set up a better system. But if you look through the content itself, you can see the title is very mediocre. The content is pretty average. It doesn't really read very well. It's not very interesting. A lot of the actual internal links aren't that relevant, for example. And just overall, the content is extremely mediocre. And if you actually go on the word count for this page, and let's check it out. You can see it's just 800 words, so it's not really long enough. I would recommend for an informational article, making sure it's at least 1500 words, and that's about it. Even the introduction doesn't really hook people in, which means that when people go on the page, they're not going to read it, they're not going to engage with it, and they're just going to fly straight off. Now, this is really important for you, because if you're setting up an AI SEO content system, then just copying and pasting the content from ChatGPT, for example, isn't going to rank for long. Why? Because if the content doesn't make sense, people won't read it, they'll poke a stick off the page, and Google sees that people don't like your content, so your rankings drop. And yes, I absolutely do love case studies like this where I rank in 17 hours or 24 hours. That's entertainment for me. And it shows us what's possible and what's fun. But if you're getting traffic with SEO, your content is your business. And that's why you need to be using the system I'm about to show you. Now, before we jump onto that, the other thing I want to say is that you must always update your old content because Google has a content freshness score, right? So if you compare your results versus, say, 3 months ago, and you see some rankings have dropped for keywords you're trying to get, for example, like the keywords down here, then absolutely, you should be updating your old content and making sure it bounces up the page, because sometimes if you just leave content or a website to stagnate, all the traffic drops over time. Whether that's human or AI, it's the same problem. So track your keyword rankings every week, look for which rankings have dropped, repair those pages, and then just iterate it in a system. Now, let's talk about what works and a proven system for getting results with SEO that's very predictable. And if we look at some of our top ranking content, for example, like this article is in position 1, you can see that it's consistently ranked for a long period of time. So it's always been in position 1. It hasn't really pogo sticked apart from a couple of days over there. Same for this article, was created completely with AI, and you can see since January, it's maintained its rankings consistently over time. It's ranking in position 1 over here. It gets a decent amount of traffic. And if you create AI content the right way, which is what I'll show you today, your rankings will be consistent. So how do you do this? How do you get results like this? You need a simple, repeatable system that runs like a well-oiled machine. And this is the difference between SEO success and SEO failure, because you want to be able to produce quality, predictable results. So the first thing that you should be doing is creating a checklist for you or your team when you produce content, so that every time you create a piece of content, you know it's high quality, you know it's got a decent amount of word count, table of contents, you've scraped the top competitors, it's got nicely formatted H2 and H3 headings, FAQs, etc. And what you do is you create a template like this, I've walked you through it in my other YouTube videos and my free course as well. And then the next step is to create SOPs. Because creating content is very predictable. You're just running through a process and it's inputs and outputs with SEO results. So what you need to do is create an SOP, something like this, where every time you create a piece of content or your team does, they produce the same high quality results. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a stagnating website where the quality gradually deteriorates over time and it's very hard for you to quality control it, especially as you build up a team of VAs. And that's exactly why I've created this free course, because it's basically a case of repeating the same results. Whatever website, whatever industry you're in, you can make sure that you're creating high quality content over and over again, and you can really scale. And here's the thing that I've learned. You have to focus on the vital few rather than the trivial many. So this is something I've learned the hard way, and with SEO you can very easily go this way, right? So you can try and do everything with SEO. You can try the latest tools, you can try assistance, you can try hiring loads of people. You can get pulled in many different directions, especially as there's hundreds of ranking factors and everyone says something different online when it comes to SEO. Now the problem is, if you do this, you only make an inch of progress in every direction. Whereas if you focus on the one thing you need to do, and you separate the vital few from the trivial many, you'll go really far in one direction, just covering the 80-20 of SEO. And when you're scaling up your AI SEO content, here's what you need to do. You just need to focus on these 4 things. 75 articles per week with a checklist like I've shown you, targeting low competition keywords, usually around KD 0. If you don't know how to do that, check out my ChatGPT SEO Mastery playlist on YouTube. Use that checklist that I've talked about, and then you just stick to the plan, rinse and repeat, and it's pretty much as simple as that. And the simpler this is, the more you can scale it and the easier everything is. So now you know what does and doesn't work, you have a clear action plan of how to get results with SEO, and you can even steal the systems I've shown you to get amazing results with AI content. So much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And I just wanted to help those people who were struggling with AI content, struggling with scaling the team, and really finding it difficult to create quality AI content that ranks consistently over time.